We chase it, yearn for it, write songs about it. We search for it in fleeting glances, in grand gestures, in the quiet corners of our lives. It promises ecstasy, belonging, wholeness. And yet, for something so universally desired, it often feels elusive, fragile, and misunderstood. We speak of falling in love as if it's an accident, a cosmic lottery where few truly win. We consume stories of passion and romance, believing love is found, not built, that it's a feeling to be caught, not a craft to be mastered. But what if we've been looking at it all wrong? What if the greatest human experience isn't a magical gift bestowed upon us, but a profound skill, demanding practice, discipline, and a lifetime of dedication? Today, we're stepping into an imagined conversation with a mind who dared to redefine love, a thinker who saw beyond sentiment and called us to a higher, more demanding form of connection. Erich Fromm was born in Frankfurt, Germany in 1900. Growing up in a deeply religious Jewish family, he experienced firsthand the societal upheavals of two world wars, which profoundly shaped his lifelong quest to understand human nature and society. Initially studying law, Fromm quickly pivoted to sociology and psychology, earning his doctorate from Heidelberg. He became a prominent figure in the Frankfurt School, an influential group of thinkers who blended Freudian psychoanalysis with Marxist critical theory. This unique intellectual lineage allowed him to explore the psychological impact of social and economic structures on the individual. Fleeing the rise of Nazism, he emigrated to the United States in 1934, where he would spend decades writing, teaching, and challenging conventional wisdom. His prolific works, including Escape from Freedom, To Have or To Be, and The Sane Society, consistently sought to reconcile the individual's inner world with the external pressures of modern life. But it was in 1956, with the publication of The Art of Loving, that Fromm offered a radical, yet profoundly practical perspective on the very force that binds us, or fails to. In this imagined dialogue, we will dive deep into the insights of Erich Fromm's seminal 1956 work, The Art of Loving. Far from a sentimental guide to romance, this book presents a powerful argument that love is not merely a spontaneous emotion, a lucky strike, or a simple feeling of affection. Instead, Fromm posits that love is a skill, an art that requires knowledge, effort, discipline, and a lifetime of dedication. We will challenge him on these provocative ideas. What does it truly mean to love? Why do so many of us fail at it, despite our best intentions? And what does this art demand of us in a world that often prioritizes instant gratification and superficial connection? So, prepare to re-examine everything you thought you knew about love, because Fromm's wisdom might just illuminate the path to a deeper, more meaningful connection.
The common perception is that love is primarily a matter of finding the right object, not of one's own capacity to love. This is akin to thinking that painting is about finding the right model rather than cultivating the skill to paint. Love, as an art, requires knowledge, just like any other art form. One must understand the theory, practice the discipline, and possess a genuine concern for the object of love. The discipline I speak of involves the whole person. It requires the discipline of our minds to remain actively concerned with the other. the discipline of our wills to consistently act in ways that foster their growth and happiness, the discipline of our emotions to be present and responsive rather than reactive and self-serving. It's a continuous effort to overcome our narcissism and egocentricity. Concentration, in the context of love, means being fully present with the other person, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. It means overcoming the distractions of our own thoughts and anxieties to truly see and understand the other. It requires a certain mindfulness and a genuine interest in their inner world. Patience is essential because love is not something that blossoms overnight. It is a process of growth, understanding, and mutual development. We must be patient with ourselves and with the other person as we navigate the complexities of human connection. True love allows for imperfections and understands that genuine intimacy takes time to build. Understanding these different forms helps us to grasp the fundamental nature of love as a relatedness with the world, not limited merely to romantic attraction. Each form highlights a different aspect of this relatedness: care, responsibility, respect, and knowledge, which are essential components of mature love in all its expressions. Selfishness and self-love are not only different, but actually contradictory. The selfish person does not love themselves too much, but too little. In fact, they hate themselves. Their seeming overcare for themselves is only a futile attempt to compensate for their lack of genuine self-esteem. True self-love means affirming one's own life and happiness, which is a condition for the ability to love others. While our capacity to love is fundamental, the choice of the object is not entirely irrelevant. However, if our ability to love is underdeveloped, even the most perfect partner will not bring lasting fulfillment. Conversely, a developed capacity to love can enrich any relationship. The focus should be on cultivating the ability to love rather than solely searching for the right person. Many obstacles exist. One is the romantic myth of falling in love, which leads people to believe that love is a passive experience rather than an active engagement. Another is the confusion between love and being loved, where the focus is on receiving rather than giving. Furthermore, our materialistic society often values things over people, hindering our capacity for genuine human connection. Respect means to see the other person as they are, in their uniqueness and individuality. It means to be aware of their separate identity and to desire that the other should grow and unfold for their own sake. It implies the absence of exploitation and the fostering of the other's independence.
Modern capitalism often fosters a sense of alienation and turns human relationships into market exchanges. People become commodities, and love can be reduced to a transaction based on superficial qualities or mutual benefit. The focus on having rather than being undermines the very essence of love, which is rooted in genuine human connection and shared being. Cultivating care requires a conscious shift in our focus from ourselves to others. It involves paying attention, being responsive to their needs, and actively participating in their well-being. This might involve small, consistent acts of kindness and support, and a genuine interest in their lives beyond our own immediate concerns. The knowledge required for love is not merely intellectual. It is a deep understanding of the other person's inner world, their joys, their sorrows, their strengths, and their vulnerabilities. It requires empathy, the ability to put oneself in the other's shoes, and a genuine curiosity about their unique human experience.
You often link the capacity to love with emotional maturity. What are some of the hallmarks of a mature lover? A mature lover has overcome their narcissistic tendencies and is able to see the other person objectively. They are independent and do not rely on the other for their sense of self-worth. They are responsible, committed, and capable of genuine empathy and care. Their love is productive, fostering growth and happiness in both themselves and their partner. Fear creates barriers to genuine connection. The fear of rejection can prevent us from opening ourselves up to others. The fear of intimacy can lead to emotional distance and superficial relationships. The fear of loss can result in possessiveness and control. Overcoming these fears through self-awareness and courage is essential for practicing the art of loving. My hope is that readers understand that love is not a passive state, but an active power, a power that can only be developed through conscious effort and the cultivation of our whole personality. It is a journey of growth, responsibility, and ultimately of profound joy and connection. The digital landscape, while offering connection in one sense, often prioritizes superficial attraction and instant gratification, which stand in opposition to the cultivation of genuine love as a skill. The focus on swiping through potential partners as if they were commodities reinforces the idea of finding the right object rather than developing one's capacity to relate deeply. True love requires presence, vulnerability, and sustained effort, qualities that can be easily lost in the ephemeral nature of online interactions. The art of loving demands we see beyond the profile and engage with the whole person. The emphasis on self-care today is not inherently contradictory to the principles of love, provided that it is genuine self-love and not mere self-indulgence. As I argued, a healthy sense of self-love, affirming one's own life and growth, is a prerequisite for the ability to love others. But self-care must not become an excuse for isolation or a narcissistic preoccupation with one's own needs to the exclusion of others. True love involves a dynamic balance between caring for oneself and extending that care, responsibility, respect, and knowledge to another. It is in this outward movement towards others that we truly fulfill our own human potential. Erich Fromm, speaking to us across the decades, offers a profound challenge to our contemporary understanding of love. He dismantles the romantic myths that often leave us feeling helpless in our search for connection and empowers us to see love not as a mystical encounter, but as a human capacity we can actively cultivate. In a world obsessed with quick fixes and superficial validation, Fromm's wisdom reminds us that true love demands patience, discipline, and a genuine commitment to understanding another human being. It requires us to move beyond our own egocentricity and to develop the maturity to see and respect the individuality of the one we love. His insights into the nature of self-love, the different forms of love, and the obstacles presented by our modern society offer a roadmap for those seeking deeper and more meaningful relationships. He calls us to be active participants in the art of loving, urging us to cultivate care, responsibility, respect, and knowledge in all our interactions. And perhaps in embracing love as a skill to be honed rather than a feeling to be found, we can move closer to the genuine human connection we all so deeply crave. Let us then strive for the maturity to truly practice the art of loving.